I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The pandemic didn't make any of our other fights go away. Of course, those other challenges are coming back into the spotlight now that restaurants have reopened without capacity restrictions. And for the record, being open without capacity restrictions is not really being fully open. In fact, most restaurants in California are not fully reopened. That's because one of the biggest hurdles to a full reopening is the ability to hire an adequate number of team members. Without that, restaurants can't operate with normal guest capacities and operating hours. Adding to these challenges are continued supply chain disruptions as a result of the pandemic and rising commodity costs across the board. Now, aside from the pandemic-induced supply chain problems, an unrelated pressure point is building. Many of you have reached out with concerns about the expected impacts to food costs from a ballot initiative that was approved by voters in 2018. I know, feels like a lifetime ago, but it's set to take effect this coming January. The initiative is California's Proposition 12. Its aim is to set new regulations for animal confinement. The problem? There are a few months before the law goes into effect, and the state only just proposed regulations for public comment, 2 years behind schedule. So, rules are about to go into effect, yet the food supply chain doesn't know how to comply because the rules aren't even final yet. That's it, in a nutshell. The CRA has advocated directly to the state for a simple delay in implementation, since the state has been so behind on issuing the regulations. The regulations set the stage for compliance, and compliance is what will impact the supply and price that you will be faced with. The CRA has also joined the Food Equity Alliance to protect Californians from skyrocketing pork prices, shortages, and greater food insecurity. The Food Equity Alliance is calling on Governor Newsom to delay implementation and give the food supply chain time to comply. Without this delay, most of the nation's pork supply, including bacon, ham, and pork chops, will be drastically reduced for sale in California starting in the new year. That scenario is likely to ripple through the supply chain, from our producers to our restaurants to consumers. So, how can you help? Lend your voice to the Food Equity Alliance to urge Governor Newsom to give the food supply chain additional time to comply with the law and protect California restaurants and consumers from avoidable supply challenges and price shocks. Visit foodequityalliance.org to find out more and join this movement today. I'm Sabrina. That's this week's news you need to know.